Welcome to the very first episode of Overanalyzing Cartoons Massacre, which is a series where I take a look at a Cartoons Massacre completion and overanalyze it, showing tips and strategies used, mistakes made, and what you should and shouldn't do when playing this mode. I'm going to be comparing this run to a theoretical perfect version of this exact run to help you further understand this challenge. And I also want to clarify that I'm not making these videos to hate on the person playing or saying the run sucks, of course. The max modes of a We Could Have Your Tree have so much going on that it makes it almost humanly impossible to play these modes perfectly. I just want to make this video to show what mistakes you may make when doing this challenge, as truly understanding this challenge can really help you become a lot better and consistent at beating this. This really is one of those FNAF challenges where anything and everything can happen, with an absurd amount of situations that can happen, which makes it easy to call this challenge RNG. So, I made this series as a way to help players fully understand this challenge because in reality, while every situation is affected by RNG, the challenge really is just being able to think fast and quickly adapt to anything that can happen. And if you're good at doing so in this challenge, then it isn't nearly as RNG as you may think. But RNG does still play a crucial role in varying the difficulty of many situations that can happen. Only the first part of this video has a script. I didn't prepare a script for anything else, so if there's something I missed or should have mentioned, then I will leave a pinned comment and talk about all of what I missed and should have mentioned. But I do prepare notes for these vids, so I shouldn't miss too much. Okay, so yeah, that's all. Let's finally get to the completion video. So, since this is the very first episode, I will be covering my own completion, because this run, despite being the guy that plays Cartoons Massacre all the time, according to a lot of people, this run is far from perfect. There's a lot going on, and at this time, oh, well, let me change the screen real quick. At this time, I was tired. In the description of the video, it mentions how I was tired, and it was like nighttime when I completed. So I made a lot of mistakes here, as you can see when I quickly analyze. So let's get through it. Let's see what happened during my own run. I don't remember everything that happened, so I'll just point out what I see right off the bat. And again, if I miss anything, I'll add a pinned comment. So of course, obviously the strategy first involves changing the temperature to 40, and I wait until 40 before turning off the power to maximize slowing down Jeff and to also maximize power of as much as possible. The mice have zero attack. There's Jeff's down to you, that means Jeff just moves to camera QB. There's that, but he doesn't really matter because I start this massacre. I just wait every 2 minutes. There, right there, I saw Milk and Yogurt at the second floor. Really good start, because like, I don't have a reason to check the first floor at this point. And, oh. Tom is not going to the top? Yeah, Tom is there, the bottom then, I believe I found. Yeah. Alright, so the first part run usually stays the same. Nothing interesting really happens in the first part. But if you notice the way I'm changing temperature, like the way I use my power off and power on, I'm trying to maximize the efficiency of keeping the power off as much as possible and going on the cameras only when power is off. Obviously, it is not required for the entire run, but in the start of the run, when nothing is happening, this can save you quite a bit. You know, you can like have errors happen a little less often with the power being off. I still cannot really confirm that, but I'm just going off the in-game tips, and that they can't be lying really. So, as you can see, as soon as it turns 40 temperature, that's when I turn off power, and then I turn it on, and then back off once it's 40. It's not always something you have to do. This is not required. This is just me trying to maximize efficiency with the power and with camera usage. But I mean, this is part of my regular strategy. Every time I play Cartoons Massacre, I always do this. So again, I have to do this, but it kind of reduces the RNG of the errors breaking by a tiny bit. So I recommend doing something like this yourself if you can. Only really at the start of that. Again, it's not required for the entire thing. Yeah, I checked the main panel there because sometimes when you play the audio lore one singular time, the audio already breaks. And that if you get unlucky with the very long audio playing, If the very long one plays, there's like 3 different audio tracks. There's a 2 short, 1 long. If the long one plays, then there's a chance the audio will just break like after the first usage, which is very unfortunate, but that's what it is. That's why I check, even though I know there's nothing going on. Milk Miller just moved, so I stopped them. Savage Evil Javier over there. No Darknet. I saw Tom going in the top vent earlier, so I won't have to worry about him for a while. There goes Darknet. Liz is there. Alright, that was lucky. I was already in the vent area and he attacked there. Oh. I have to check, but I made a mistake here. You hear that? You hear that? Let me go back a little bit. Right as the alarm started playing, Mr. Springlock, he did his shock attack where he makes a specific, very specific sound cue. That means he is behind you or above you. Let me go back again. So you can hear it. It's very hard to hear when the alarm is playing, or I'm not sure if you attack while started triangles and all, but yeah, Mr. Springlock can do the attack while the alarm is playing. It makes it very hard to hear, but luckily in this situation I do end up hearing it. Luckily I did get the Ravager, I timed it in time, but yeah, not much to there. I checked the bottom and it's not there, and I checked the air. You really have to listen. This mode may not seem like you have to listen all too much, but listening is a lot more important than it sounds. You really do have to pay attention to that sort of thing. And oh, I was very lucky there. As you saw, before the alarm started playing, or like while the alarm was playing, I checked the left door camera and he was not there. So she's going to the vent, obviously. But if you notice here, I was so perfect with time, I didn't even realize I was that close. I don't remember being that close. I activated the laser at like the 13-14 second mark. I got lucky. I'm pretty sure that was me getting lucky, because sometimes I do end up pressing a little too late. I just died to her because I'm greedy with the power. But very good situation. I thought Jeff wasn't there, so I wait. And I hear his sound cue. I can't see right away because Mindy is in the way, but it's fine. Milk and Yogurt are on the second floor, luckily again. And look, right there. Tom was in the bottom camera. The bottom shock camera, and I shocked him. How did that happen, and how did I know? Let's go back a little bit here. Let's go back a few bits seconds. So right here, I checked the vent radar at this moment. And for a full 30 seconds, I don't check the vent radar for a full 30 seconds, and because the temperature is 40, which means if it's not 80, Tom will move faster than normal. If it's 80, he'll move slow. But since the temperature is 40, Tom moves really fast, and within those 30 seconds, he did manage to get to the bottom camera, the bottom shock camera, really bad, but luckily I do notice because I do check the vent radar, like, right here. This is where I finally checked it. Right here. But I noticed that Tom's not there. I noticed it's been like half a minute since the last act, so I mean, because you have 20 shocks, you might as well check the shock cam, the bottom shock camera, and just like shock if you want. That's one of the tips that I added in my guide. Use the 20 shocks to your advantage. You can do that. It's not really required, but just to play safely, you can prevent a lot of Tom deaths like this, like what I did here. I saw Shattered Milk and Yogurt on the second floor. Great, I am safe from them for a little bit. I have time. No one's really attacking me at this moment, so I check the bottom shock camera, and there he is. I shock him, and he goes away. Now I go over here. Tom is back in the top vent. Very good. I'm in a very good position. He is about to go in the top vent, and Milk and Yogurt are about to go in the shock camera. I'm in a good position right now. 2 minutes have passed, so I'm changing the temperature to 80, and I overheat a vent that Tom is not at, because first of all, I want to intentionally let Tom go to the top vent, and secondly, I need the temperature overheat to increase the temperature faster to help deal with Zach easier. It's a bit risky, I have to admit. Especially at the middle of the run like this. If Shattered Evil Javier hasn't attacked for a while and you overheat, there's a chance he'll attack right after there's a chance that Shattered Evil Javier will attack at the vents right after you overheat, which is a bad time. Which means, during the time that you're waiting for the overheat to come back to you, the camera error might break or something. That's like a death that's like very unfortunate. So it's a bit risky what I did here, but luckily it paid off. Yeah, Shattered Evil Javier was in the cameras, not in the vents, so I got away with that, luckily. And Chad Milk and Yogurt there. Tom got the top vent, and yeah, he's here. I was about to play the audio lore for Jeff. I saw Jeff in camera 2B though, so because remember, Shadow Jack stalls Jeff. So because of that, Jeff was in camera 2B and playing the audio it's fine to play the audio, sure, but it's a lot better that I save my time and play the audio lore for Jeff after Jack leaves because then Jeff won't have a chance to, will have like a less chance, how do I say this? Jeff will have a lower chance of escaping the audio lore because you're playing the audio for him longer. Whereas if you play the audio now, like right as Jack attacks, both the audio would have been playing and you basically had no purpose because Jeff wouldn't have moved either way because of Jack stalling Jeff. So right here, I don't put the audio. Very wise choice. It saves me quite a bit of time with Jeff. And as you hear there, the sound cue, that sound cue played right then and there. I'm not sure if you hear it. Let me play it, go back again. If you heard the sound cue, that is Zack going all the way back to his starting camera. This is not really that useful in Cartoons Massacre. It only really is for information. If you want to know where Zack is at, for specific reasons. Like if you want to like, I don't know, change your strategy if he like is far or something. But it is really important for Hardest 12-12, but for Cartoons Massacre, knowing that is not that useful. I was attacking in the window, so Tom's gonna attack. I also forgot to mention, this completion was way before my guide got fully updated. There were a lot of things missing in my guide and some strategies and tips that I didn't even use myself. I didn't even know about before this video, so right here, a mistake I made is that I don't check the vent radar during Tom's attack. Nowadays, it's recommended that you check the vent radar at least one single time during Jack's attack. Because while Shadow Jack is attacking, that is the best time for Tom to escape. And it's the best time for him to go out and, yeah, gonna kill you to the back or something. But fine, I managed to wipe it away. Loud noises. Shatter Evil have here. That's good. You need that speed for Shatter Evil have here in the bench. You absolutely need to be that fast. I am looking for Shatter Milk and Yogurt. I check every camera that I thought they could be in, but they are not there. Which makes me concerned because it makes me think they're already in the shock camera. Watch as I spend way too much time checking after I look here. This is the left door camera. I check over here. I'm still looking for Shatter Milk and Yogurt. I have no idea where they are. I'm confused. Like wondering if they moved between time I switch cameras or something. I checked. Okay, this is a major mistake I made. I spent way too much time. There, I finally found Shatter Milk and Yogurt there, the first floor. My thought process at this time was that I thought they went, oh no, I thought they made a lot more progress at that point. But why did I think that? If we go all the way back to when I shocked them last, it was a full minute ago, right here. Go back a little bit. I shocked them there, and like a full minute has passed, and they barely made any progress. But yeah, I forgot that Shattered Jack here, he stole Shattered Milk and Yogurt, so him being here will make their progress on by a lot, and I did not keep this in mind. Knowing stuff like this can help save you lots of time, like you don't have to look for certain characters as much as you know stuff like this. Like the mistake I made, I could have gotten cooked by someone else if I was unlucky enough. But luckily I still survived even then. Like, and besides that, you also have to remember that Sharon Milk and Yogurt might also take longer or shorter to attack you next time, depending on where they spawn after you shock them, because they will either appear at camera 1A or 2A after you shock them, so they might make more progress than you thought, maybe not. It's all about tracking them all the time. But, I mean, that's basically all. I'm gonna go back now to when I saw them. Okay. My Mr. Monarcha, it's not too bad, dude, straight away, yep. And this is why I see them. Right? I spent so much time I didn't even notice the audio lore had an error. The audio error happened for like it was like that for a while. I didn't bother checking the maintenance panel for a little bit because I was so worried about Sharon milk and yogurt. That's a thing I could have done better a lot, and I could have saved. I, I could have repaired the audio sooner and didn't have much trouble dealing with Jeff. This is especially bad because Jeff was at 80. Notice, Jeff was at camera 4B and I decided to play it on camera 4B instead of 2B. Why? If we go back all the way to here, after I find some yogurt, I saw, if you look here very closely, Jeff is not in camera 2B before I noticed the audio error happened. So, I repaired the audio system and I don't play it in camera 2B. This was a very good choice, a very good decision I made because, especially, the temperature is at 80. Jeff is not slowed. He is at maximum possible speed. He can blitz through your office if you make one single mistake with the audio and you fail to catch him. If you played the audio lure somewhere and then you don't lure him, then you need to make like 2-3 rooms progress, especially with 80 temperature and with like an oxygen font or something. Heck, an oxygen font and 80 temperature can make him go all the way from the second floor to your office right before the next audio lure can play. So it's very risky. So you have to pay attention to stuff like that. And if you don't know, let's say I never saw if Jeff was in camera 2B. It's still better to just play the audio in camera 4B anyways because it's better to play safe than sorry with Jeff. Even though, being in camera 4B, you won't be able to have as much information, like you don't, know if Tom will be there or Zach, but Zach doesn't matter here, so it's fine. Tom is at the left side. There he is. Good, my speed with there with Harry will was good. Right then, that's very bad because camera errors at the same time as Mr. Springlock attacks the bottom shock cam or the top shock cam. I have to be really fast checking for them. I can't see, the camera was spanned to the left side, so I could not see if Mr. Springlock was there, so I just like went all in, I just shot the camera either way. He wasn't there, it's fine, because again, 20 shocks, you don't need that many shocks, so use your advantage. So he's at the top, but I spam it as much as possible, right? Because his skill timer is crazy, it can be quite short. Okay, the audio is done playing. I have to get to that. Yeah, because remember, I already knew that Cherry Milk and Yogurt was attacking at the bottom floor because, like, earlier I saw them both there. So, again, I have no reason to check the top floor shock cam or any of the positions there. Remember that as well. It's very easy to forget about Cherry Milk and Yogurt, so please, do keep checking on, remembering where they are, or if you don't, check again. Oh. Think that again, because again, 2 more make attacks, it's 4 AM, and I saw Sharon looking over the top camera, very good. This is gone, I can't see because of that. Liz is at the top area. Up here, Liz at the vent, I have to deal with that. There's a mistake, that's a very big mistake I made. Fix all systems. This was a very bad mistake. You do not fix all systems unless you know Shadow Evil will have your attack recently, but he does not. I fixed all systems and Shadow Evil have your... Luckily, Shadow Evil have your attack to the window. If Shattered Evil have your attack to the vents right there, I would have died. Don't make the same mistake I did. Instead of fixing all systems, you really should just repair whatever system is there. There's very few situations where fixing all systems is good. It's better, but yeah, I got very lucky here. Shadow Evil Javier didn't go in the vent, so I'm alive. I have to remember about Liz as well. She's at my right side. Done. Play the audio right after Jack leaves. And again, I made the one simple mistake of not checking the vent radar at all. Not a single time I checked the vent radar during Jack's attack. And again, temperature's at 40. Tom is at his fastest. He's gonna go blitzing through the vent. I don't see Tom in the vent. This worries me, right? So I was like, wait, are you still in second floor? No, I checked the 2 second floor cameras that Tom can be in. He was not in camera 2B, nor was he in 3B. I get even more worried, so I decided I'll check the bottom shot camera. And he was there. It's very hard to see. Wait, let me... increase the quality so it'll be easy to see. It's very hard to see, but yes, he is there. You can see his arm, right here. His arm is poking out right over here. It's again the blurriness makes it hard to see, but luckily I checked. Tom did go to the bomb vent because again, during Shadow Jack's attack, I did not check the vent radar a single time. And that caused Tom to go to the bomb vent, and I was worried so much that I checked again. Again, if you have to remember Tom's movement, you have to keep in mind when you last dealt with Tom or where he was. Because last time I dealt with him, he was at my right vent. My opposite right vent. I used a laser on him, and he goes all the way back to camera to become there. So, with that information in mind, and with the fact that it's been a while since that happened, I decided to check his positions, his possible positions, and he wasn't in any single one of them. So I checked the bottom camera, and I survived because of that. Again, I wouldn't have to do all that had I checked the vent radar during that attack, but I didn't know about that during this time, so it's fine. I managed to save myself there, but you can save yourself in many situations like that. Just have to remember about the mechanics. There's guy was never dealt with. Tom back in the bottom. You see how fast Tom is with the temperature being at 40. It is real risky if you don't check the vent radar for a while. You have to be very careful with that. And the audio area again. Tom is going to top vent. This is good for me. I don't have to worry about him for a while. I'm looking yogurt. I eat both Tom and SEJ, which is not ideal. Tom went back on the second floor, but he went back to top vent camera, so that's good for me. Check all the cameras, and right then, the camera system breaks, so you know what? I don't have time anymore. I might as well just take the hit. Right here. The demise don't kill you, so sometimes taking it on, like knowing you can't repair it in time or something, or it's better not doing so, will do. It's just better sometimes. Just take the hit from the demise. Good timing. Notice how a lot of people miss this with their Cartoons Massacre completions, but Tom's vent, after he goes from the top, you don't have to worry as much about the vents as much. You still do. You should still check it as much, but you should try to listen carefully because those vent sounds that Tom makes, it is a lot easier to hear. Straight up. A little slow there with this audio. There's Violet, but this goes away before Violet gets there, so I'm good. I'm alive from Violet. Same cycle over again. And right there, very lucky. I made a tiny mistake there. I should have been faster going to event. Like whenever you will have recent events, make it top priority. Go there as fast as possible. I made a tiny mistake of not going there right away. I delayed it a little bit. Which is fine if Jack's meter was low, but it's not. So I should have checked earlier, but luckily, I mean, if you know the signal is 2 meters or higher, as you can see, the time I overheat Sharry will have here, the signal meter on the cameras was 2 meters, 2 circles, so I was fine for that. I could delay it, but let's say if you don't know what the signal is, the camera signal is, just go right away. If you do though, it's not necessarily required. You can take a little bit of time, but yeah. Most of the time it's just better to just go deal with Sharry will have here in the event right away. With the audio, and there's no point because I already won. 7 AM. That's basically everything that happened in my run, besides the obvious. I mean, I used many tips and strategies and stuff here, but if you've read through my guide, you would have known about all of them already. I just want to explain the niche stuff that happened. All the things, the small little things that happens, that goes on, that you may not notice right away. But all of the other things that I didn't explain, you probably should have already known that by now, had you read the guide. So, again, make sure you try to understand the challenge and all that. stuff, and yeah, all the information is useful. I don't remember if I mentioned it before, but if I haven't, then I'd also want to clarify that it's not really humanly possible to play this perfectly because there are so many things that can happen, and like a perfect run, like avoiding death every single time, is just so so incredibly difficult that it just kind of makes it really. I mean, I don't really know what to say at that point. Just whatever. I lost my words there. It's fine. Yeah, this that was all the same here. So that's basically it for the main run through of my my playthrough of the run. I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna rewatch the recording without talking and see if I spot anything that I missed talking through the first time. Okay, so give me a second. I'll just check real quick if anything's different. Okay, so one little thing while we were watching, I wanted to point out as well. One thing here I didn't mention, but something that's probably worth noting is here. Liz is at the window. Liz left. Harry will have your event. I overheat him, but instead of checking more Liz right away, I instead close the cameras and greed the greed it's not I my own greed gets to me and I kind of just deal with temperature. I try to like maximize the early phase where you know how I mentioned at the beginning of the video where I try maximizing the uptime that I have with the power being off. Here I greed for that. Like even though it's like a minute into the run, this is not really good. I turn on the power. I don't check for this yet. I turn it on. I wait until the temperature 4. I turn it back off for that, and that's when I check for this. Not really something I should have done, especially since this is where the run starts. The run starts here. I should stop greeding for yeah, for that. I don't even know how to describe that. But yeah, you know what I mean, probably. And because of that, Ravager attacks, and I have even less time to check on Liz. So, unnecessary. Luckily, if you heard there, Liz's vent sound plays before I even get checked. So it's been 8 seconds of me just not checking Liz right away. Not the best idea. It's better to check earlier, but there, I don't know. I mean, still, even then, it's still at the very beginning of the run, and so not much can really happen. But it's not something you should be doing, and just especially since other things might are things you might have to deal with, or you know, I can't speak right now. But yeah, that's basically it. You get what I'm trying to say. Don't greed for resources too much, especially if night starts. That's all. Actually, another thing I missed, a big mistake actually that I missed when going through this for the first time. Right here, right after the clip, the previous clip, right when you remember how earlier I mentioned the alarm plays and the Mr. Springlock's like sound cue, his specific sound cue for when he attacks above or behind you, that sound cue plays during the alarm. I noticed that, but instead of checking for it right away, I was hesitant. I decided to go fix the oxygen font instead. This was a big mistake because there was one good reason for that. If I go back on the cameras, the camera signal is only at 1 meter. So if the cameras break at this time while searching for him, I would have been cooked. I would have died to him. But I hid the oxygen font alarm. I want to get rid of it as fast as possible. Fine, but if the signal's at 1 meter like this and Mr. Springlock attacking you, then don't don't repair the oxygen font unless you shock him. Shock him first, then repair the oxygen font or the camera system if that breaks after you shock him. And again, don't forget to check the vents radar in between. There are actually many moments here where I don't check the vents radar enough. Like right there, I should have checked the vents radar there. Like, if I go back, oxygen font, fix it. I check for instance, I deal with them as fast as possible, good. Because the camera signals at 1 meter, it's better to go check Mr. Springlock first, but I didn't check the vent radar a single time during this time, which is what caused Tom to go to the bottom then. Cause yeah, I didn't check the vent radar at all. There were many times where I should have, but this was one of those times where the consequences really did happen. Tom got through, and I almost died because of it. Again, every time you fix a system, always check the vents radar right after, even if there's another system that needs to be repaired. Vent radar has to be checked as much as you can, like every freaking 5 seconds or something. I don't know. You check it as much as possible, especially if the temperature's at 40. I need to emphasize this so much because everyone dies to Tom. He's one of the hardest characters in Cartoons Massacre. Check the vent radar, please. I see everyone making this mistake. Just check the vent radar as much as possible, no matter how much. Like, yeah. But, I mean, if the temperature's at 80, then you don't have to worry about it as much, but even then, you should worry about Tom. He's a menace to society. Okay, one small thing I wanted to point out here in terms of the way I'm playing the challenge. Look what I do here. I reload them. I changed the first floor. Mike's there. I checked the second floor cameras. His head is not there, or his face is not there. So I click on the floor one button. I switch to that, but during the switch animation, because that animation takes a little bit longer to like load than usual, and because it's overall less risky, I instead like close the cameras and turn off the power. Because again, I went to the cameras with the power being on. It's risky because of darknet. So don't stay on the camera for too long with that. Just a reminder because it's a very common mistake people make. Turn off the power and notice the camera system doesn't immediately signal error, like doesn't have a signal loss right after I open the cameras. This is extremely common. This happens almost all the time you open the cameras. Whenever you open the cameras, the signal loss thing will not happen instantly. There's like a bit of a delay. It's very, very rare that it's not like that, but that's why I close the cameras there. That's one of the main reasons I did anyways. Besides checking for darknet as well and turning off the power, yeah, signal loss, it makes it easier to scroll through the cameras. If there's signal loss, you can just do it every time, but it's not required. Sometimes it's just better to just go right through the signal loss and just trying to hit whatever. Uh, yeah. I guess that's it for this part. Okay, a few seconds later, I made a minor mistake, but still a mistake nonetheless. If I go play, Shadow Evil Javier vent bang, that means he's in the vent, but I don't check right away. I delay a little bit and close the power. This is normally fine, but look at it, the camera signal has one singular bar. That is a risky thing to do. You just go straight to the ventilator right away. Don't even bother dealing with power. Spend all of your time overheating Shadow Evil Javier as fast as possible. Whenever you hear that, because the signal's low, one bar. If it errors out, then you have a slightly higher chance of dying if you do those extra actions. Whereas if you just go to him right away, your chance of dying to him is extremely, extremely low. If the camera error happens, you shouldn't be dying at all. You just have to be fast. Just be as fast as you can with him. Speed, precision, for Shadow Evil Javier in defense. In case of a camera error, essentially. Yeah, just be worried about that. Be more careful with how you handle Shadow Evil Javier in defense. That's all I guess. Okay, actually somewhat of a major mistake that I made here. So, audio error, right? I noticed the audio error. I go in and repair it as quick as I can, of course, because I just checked the ventilator. Tom is good for a while, and I should have enough time to repair it. Notice the hallucinations, though. The hallucinations are there, but no demise attacking, which means that demise tangles in the cameras. I don't actually take note of this, and I don't pay attention to that, so here comes the mistake here. Normally, if you know the mice angles in the cameras, you have to open and close it as fast as possible, so that to prevent them from destroying your audio, and you have to repair it. To prevent that, just open and close the cameras as fast as possible. You don't want them making you need to repair the audio again. That would waste a lot of time. But here it's even worse because I had just repaired the audio lore. I just repaired it. So if look right here. I don't close the account right away because I don't pay attention to the hallucinations, and I could have. I got lucky here because the my triangle did not jump scare me or destroyed my audio. So I had enough time to close the cameras in time, but let's say had they attacked right away, like much faster, and I lost my audio lure again, the audio would again I'd have to repair it for the second time without playing it a single time for Jeff. That could have caused Jeff to move like 2 rooms away, and I could have lost Jeff that way. So it's very important that you pay attention to the hallucinations in case of that attack. But since the temperature's at 40, the temperature's at 40 right now, so luckily, even if that did happen, I would still likely catch Jeff in time. And I'd still likely get him at the same room because temperature is at 40 and the alarm is not going off, so I would have had enough time probably to get him back anyways. But if the temperature is at 80, then this could have been a really big disaster. But luckily, I survived because of the circumstance I was in, and that the my triangle was very kind to me this time. So, yeah. There was one thing I forgot to mention here. When this is the part where I got camera system error while dealing with Mike, while trying to look for Mike's head, anyways. But the camera error happened, and I knew I won't be able to repair it in time and search for his face in time. So, but one thing I do is after I repair the camera system, the nice Mike jump scares me right before the system finishes repairing. So because the system's already broken and the mice mic is meant to take away my camera system, he like theoretically I shouldn't have a reason to repair the camera system again because the system would have already repaired just in time right after he jump scared me, right? But no, that's not how it works because I don't know why, but if the next error happens very quickly after you just repair the error. Like, so let's say for example, like here, the camera. I was about to repair the camera system. I repaired the camera system right before Mike jump scared me, so I got the camera system again. But because it happened like right before I finished repairing it, it stacked. It's sometimes in this game the system stack like the errors they stack. So I have to repair the camera system 2 times in once, even when I really only should repair it once, but I have to do it twice because I don't know why it's like this, but the system errors in this game do stack, except for the laser, of course. But yeah, this was bad. I could have gotten cooked by Tom here because staying this much time in the not going to campus is risky. But one thing I will say is that the mice Mike attack here. The mice Mike and any of the mice characters attacking means that Tom will not move. Tom gets stalled by all the mice characters, which is very important information because situations like this is not that unfair because you would still have enough time to search for Tom even if this did happen. Okay, notice how you heard the repair sound, the finish repairing sound right after the mic jump scares me. Well, the camera error is still there, like I mentioned, because errors stack. It doesn't necessarily have to be next to each other. Like an error can happen like way before, and you get jump scared, and it'll still like stack. I don't know that's one thing I don't understand about this game. I don't know how the error stacking works. Like how do the system's errors like stacking really works? 'Cause to me, sometimes it doesn't stack. Sometimes it does. I'm confused about it, so I'm still not sure about that. That's one of the only few things that I'm not 100% certain about. But yeah, I guess that's it for this part. One minor thing I did here. Okay, so I did made use of a good dip in this part, so I'll just play the clip real quick. Notice how I played the audio even like while the Ravager's in the cameras. He was there for quite a while, and I performed like 3 actions while he was in the cameras. Let's play that again. The Ravager's in the cameras. The first thing I do is switch floors. I go to the specific camera. I go to camera 2, not 2B. I go to camera 4B. I remember where that position is on the map. I know where the buttons are, so I click on that place and I click on the audio lure button, even without seeing a single thing. It's because of situations like this. You save like 2 seconds by not closing the cameras for the Ravager right away, and this short amount of time that you save by doing this might be the difference between patching Jeff and him escaping your audio. Because even just minor adjustments like this to your strategy can really make a significant impact during some of your attempts. So in this situation, I made good use of it. Temperature was not at 40 or lower, so Jeff is not slowed, so it is a possibility that he would have escaped had I not done that. But hey, I mean, yeah, I guess that's all for this part. Okay, so after rewatching through that whole run, that should be everything. I couldn't catch anything else that's worth mentioning, worth noting. So yeah, I guess that's it for this completion. That's everything I have to say about it. And yeah, hopefully you've learned something new, and hopefully you'll be able to use some of what I provided in this video to help you with your run, with your hard massacre run, or if you enjoyed in general, if you just watched just for the sake of entertainment, then yeah, I hope you enjoyed. And yeah, that's it for episode 1. I don't really know how to end this video really, so yeah, thank you for sticking around, and yeah, I plan to make more episodes in the future covering the attempts of or the completions of the other people who've beaten this challenge. So yeah, I'll see you then, and thank you so much for watching.